actually want it to settle on. It doesn't want to do that. Alright, whatever. You can see we have starling issues here as well. Okay, so this is the Treman Park Marina CPO1 Cast Park Osprey 1 nest, and looks like the female is eating, but we're just wondering whether or not she's actually feeding chicks, or if she's just feeding herself. Yeah. So we know for sure that she is incubating eggs here at the nest. Oh, why there's so much gray there on the right side. There we go. Stay put there, for heaven's sakes. Oh no, I get it. Sorry, I'm going nuts over the image quality here. Ah, okay, well that might help. Maybe. The adapter was not fully seated. There's a ring that okay, that's better. Unfortunately, we can't see into this beautiful nest. He's a handsome guy. Look at that. Beautiful, bright chest. So these guys have been here 3 years now. So I think that, in fact, some of the new ospreys into the area possibly could be their first brood. Those starlings are just insistent, aren't they? They're everywhere. I'm not sure what Mom's doing. She's fussing with something there. So these guys seem to love their nest, kind of like, well, Iris and Stanley certainly do, but the Dunroven, Ozzie and Harriet Ospreys are just, that is, they live to come back to their nest, begin mating and have a family. I mean, 2 years ago their eggs didn't hatch. Last year they had a wonderful family, and this year they have another wonderful family of chicks. And Stanley seems to be very proud of his Hellgate nest, and Portland Point also seems to be the case, and the game farm Ospreys are completely engaged. Dad is defending the nest yesterday, I guess, on a continual basis from the game farm hawk there. I guess Orpheus and Ophelia, I would say, yeah, I'm surprised last week when we were there that they were not on the nest constantly, but they seem to be taking turns there. I don't know if this nest, if the males come in and sit on the eggs. It seemed like last week that Ophelia was flying around and chased off the intruder, and Orpheus was on the nest, so that was interesting. And the Union Fields Ospreys are just sort of, I guess, getting it together. They were mating on another pole earlier last week, and then they were back in the nest, so it seems like they have settled there. We're going to go over there in a few minutes and have a look there, and then we're going to head up the hill to see what the cliff hawk nestlings are up to. They should be fledging maybe between today and the next 2 or 3 days, I'm thinking. And this morning we had one of the E's on the fledge ledge next to BR. That was fun to see, and it seemed like Mama blocked the door there ultimately and said, no, this is as far as you're going. So last year it seemed it was a little bit of a libertine situation there with those guys. There was an awful lot of modeling by Mom and Dad about what the fledgling was all about, and the kids seemed to take to it maybe a little bit too quickly, certainly with D2's situation. And so maybe this year it'll be kind of a compromise. Mom and Dad will kind of indicate what's going on there, and but maybe put a little bit of some checks and balances in place. And it's possible Keys is thinking that we might have a fledge off the wild end of the nest. That's interesting. You know, we never did see that on the other nest tower. The kids would go in the hidey hole on the other side, at the other end of the nest platform, but we never saw a fledge off of there. We just saw fledges off the ledge and out the front of the nest. C3 went boom like a F4 or B58 Hustler. That's what it was. 4-engine. She just took off right off the front of the nest like a delta wing bomber, swept wing. So anyway, that's kind of what's happening so far this morning. And we were just up at the eagle nest, and the kids are phenomenally beautiful and huge, enormous. My goodness, something right out of a movie. And a couple of very proud parents there. So one of them was definitely out on a limb, a couple feet away from the nest. Not too far, within 1 or 2 steps of getting back in the nest. And we saw some feeding of big fish, and mom and dad just hanging out with them. So that's all looking good there. So we're going to leave this nest, and saw some feeding of mom, but we're not sure that we saw any feeding of chicks here. So I'm not an expert, but I'm not certain whether or not we have any young yet hatched here. Okay, so if there were any, it would be in this nest, and it would be in the Portland Point nest. For those would be the definitely the contenders at this point. All right, so we're gonna let you guys go, and we're gonna hop on over to Union.